caterpillar on a leaf, spent her days munching juicy leaves. Branches of the tree were for her the only thing in a tiny world. Comfy and cozy in her cocoon, she fell into a deep, deep sleep. And when she
This is a pop-up store by ECI arranged for a week in Santa Mall for parents and children's interests. You can order online with few easy steps and will get your desired toys at your doorsteps.
Hi, and welcome all in another episode. As we all know that December has come and children are having their holidays, but we should also consider that fourth wave of coronavirus, which is Omicron, has hit South Africa. And now we have to be more conscious and cautious for taking all the necessary safety measures. And in this present situation, how can we engage children in different interesting and fruitful activities? That's the question. Joining me online today is Sister Waheeda Essop, who is an occupational therapist, founder of Early Childhood Intervention Center in Benoni, and running a website online store that is for branded to therapeutic toys, who would be talking about kids' holidays activities, and we'll further listen from her. So let's get her on board.
Hi, Kiran. How are you?
I'm good, Alhamdulillah. What about you, Sister Waheeda? How are you doing today?
Okay, just very tired. we had the pop-up store for the last 4 days at Sandton City. So yeah, so it's very full days. It was quite exhausting. Yeah, but it went very well though.
Oh, Alhamdulillah, that's very good. It's a good news. So, as you know, that we'll be talking about children holidays activities today, as we discussed about this. And you know that, of course, December is here, and coronavirus, which is a new variant, Omicron, that has also hit South Africa. So we'll be discussing about children holidays activities. And I'm going to ask you first, about kids activities ideas, like we're going to start it from the very young age. How would you just categorize into children group, like from which age for children's activities? How would you categorize, and how would you just make it in a group that from young age children should take kind of these kind of activities? I would want to know from your side.
So obviously the kids' routines at different ages are different, but as parents we do know what their general routine is. So I think a nice starting point is to actually develop a routine based on your child's age. So for the younger ones, they're usually up early. And they have a lot of energy. So you can adjust your routine and the activities that you have planned around that. So where you must include some kind of physical activity. So letting them get outside. So have a lot of outside play, but a lot of physical play. With your older kids, they sleep more, and they actually enjoy. They tend to wake up a little bit later, and they have energy later on in the day. So I would adjust their routine to actually allow for activities that they can do later on in the day. But what's nice about the older kids is that they actually know themselves a little bit better, and they are more independent. So we can actually allow them to do a lot of their own planning, to say, okay, guys, we're sitting down, we've got holidays coming up, we've got a lot of free time, let's do a holiday schedule.
Right.
Let's plan what we're going to do. Let's think of activities and ideas and what we can do together. And then you can actually sit down and chat with them about it. So that's the difference between the older and younger kids.
Right.
I will start there.
Okay, fine. Now, particularly about, suppose, for younger children and for older children as well, what would you suggest for outdoor activities particularly?
So we are limited with holidays as such, but there are a lot of outdoor places that you can go as day trips. So I think day trips are still feasible, and they're still fairly safe because you usually go in with your little family. So it's just you guys in the car traveling together. So with that, you can make day trips, and I mean Johannesburg has a lot of places that you can visit, from the zoo. What's very nice are hikes. So there's many different types of hikes, especially suited for younger children as well. So even if parents search for that, they can actually have a look at because a lot of the hikes, they tell you, you know what, this is suitable for this age group. These are a bit harder for older groups. So you can do the hikes with a combined picnic or an activity after that. So those are usually nice. And so you can plan your week around, okay, we're doing one day trip this week or two of them this week, and then the rest of the time, this is what we're doing. And in terms of outdoor, so especially the younger kids, you really want them to play on a physical level. So let them get a lot of their outdoor stuff, their play stuff, put it outside. So even if they have activities that they would normally play outside, take it outside.
Right.
So what's a favorite for younger children is actually water play. And we're so lucky here in South Africa. It's hot. We have nice warm days.
Right.
So you can take out big baths, take a lot of plastic toys, let them do the dishes outside, and have a lot of fun with water. Water, and I remember in our days, we made we played a lot with mud,
Okay.
making mud cakes and doing different things. So especially if they did plan to go to the beach, they have their buckets and they have their
Right.
spades. So let them use the sand outside to actually play outdoors. A lot of, especially for your toddlers, your 2 to 3 years, that love climbing, that love jumping. A lot of play outside that with a jungle gym or up a tree will be lovely for them, because they also get to use that extra energy, but at the same time they're doing something physical and they're using their coordination.
Oh,
So for
that's
very
great.
young kids, that's actually nice. The older kids don't like to go outside, but they do need the fresh air, they need the sunshine. So encourage them again to go outside, and whatever they were going to do inside, they can do outside for a while.
Right.
And you know what? I've actually got an article on the website about children being bored.
Yes.
And the fact that boredom is actually your brain needs a bit of a time out. So for the older kids to actually go outside and take a little blanket and put it on the grass and just lie and just relax and actually just look at the sky would actually be quite nice for them, even if it's just for a few minutes. So yes, that's what I usually recommend for your older kids.
Okay.
So those are the outdoor type of stuff.
Okay. So what I'm just getting, like, swimming activity can be done, water activity, mud activity can be done, jungle gym can be done. And of course, like if there's nothing, so then we can have like sunbathing, then we just, would be spreading a kind of nice sheet, and then we can just lie down there and we can relax a lot more. Very good.
Yes.
Very interesting for children now. So okay, now I'll be talking about indoor activities. What would you suggest for indoor activities for children, younger and older both?
Okay, so one of our favorite, and I mean my little one is 12, and he still does that, is basically fort building. So basically making tents. And what's nice about this one is actually it gives children a platform for creativity. So they can take out blankets and pillows, and they can make their own fort. They can
Mhm.
make their own castle. They can call it what they want. And we, as parents, we just need to allow them to do that because it's usually a serious disruption,
Yes.
especially in common spaces like the lounge area, which they usually love to do.
Mhm.
So I love fort building, and I love the fact that they have to really think about, okay, I need to build this tent, but I need to secure it with something that's heavy. So they do a lot of planning, and they've got to kind of think out of the box.
Mhm.
And also with that, and you can actually throw them. Okay, what rooms do you guys have, or do you have a separate room for a lounge area, or are you guys going to be having a little kitchen in there? So just to encourage them to actually think a lot more wider, be a bit more creative, and be a bit more imaginative. So I love fort building. Then what's also very nice is to have some kind of sort of like a long term. I wouldn't say long term, but like maybe something that that isn't immediate. To have that kind of project with them,
Mhm. Mhm.
even if it's even an older child can do that. So if, for example, they have a puzzle, I we do puzzles in the holidays. So, and remember, puzzles, although you have a 1,000 piece or a 2,000 piece puzzle, even younger children can still assist.
Right.
We can break it down and say, okay, you guys only find for me the orange pieces for this part.
Mhm.
What's nice about the puzzle is that adults can do it and the young ones can do it. But I find that, like, okay, I don't have free time, and what we normally do is we normally pick up our phones and we're like,
Yes.
okay, we have free time, so let's just go on here. But if you walk past the puzzle and you're
Yes.
like, you can't help yourself, you sit down and you end up building. So the puzzle, or some kind of long-term game that's going to
Mhm.
take a while, is actually a
Mhm.
very nice idea.
Okay.
What also works well is a type of so if you have kids, to actually plan something. So something that's not going to happen immediately. So let's say there is going to be a party, or
Right.
they want to have a year-end little get together. Maybe look, with COVID, they can't have anything big. They
Yes.
may have something smaller, but outside. But they can actually do a lot of planning for it and
Mhm.
organizing for it.
Mhm.
So whether it's little get together with their cousins, they'll do it outside. They can plan what the theme's going to be. They can make little decorations for the table, and they can do all of that. And it can happen over a few days. So a long-term project is always a nice idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do have a few travel games activity. Do you want me to go through those?
Travel activities, yeah, you can. But one idea also we can take, if what you are going to suggest, like suppose for baking stuff, indoor
Yes.
activities, how would it be? Like,
Yes.
just engaging children in baking stuff as well. That
Yes, so
would be
that's
nice, yeah.
that's a absolute favorite. And what's nice about cooking and baking is that it's not limited to your older children. You
Right.
can get little ones, I would say, from about even a year. I
Okay.
got my kids involved very, very young. So if they can get stuff for you, they can still stir. So we start off with chopping, and we
Hmm.
use a butter knife,
Right.
and we use cucumbers, so they
Hmm.
still can, it's still safe. And if they do that well, they get promoted to a proper knife.
Right.
But there are so many things that they can do. So, and I think what the problem with as parents, we want to get done. We want to get done with our cooking,
Yeah.
and we want to get and we don't want the mess.
Right.
So
Yes.
yes, so with kids in the kitchen, what you can do is, when you start them off, they have to also be aware of clearing up and working perhaps neatly. Okay, so obviously you don't want to limit them to say, okay, listen, yeah, you can't make a mess. That's not. So they obviously are going to make a mess, but they need to be conscientized to, okay, after I make a mess, I must clear up because that's my mess.
Right.
So to actually create that awareness with them from the beginning. So what you can do is, if you have like a normal cooking task, so you have, whether you're making anything from a curry to a salad to a dessert, there is definitely something that the kids can assist with one of those things. And even if they're not doing that, they can set the table for you, and they can make it really pretty, or they can make something for the table for that particular meal. And also, it's not limited to the girls.
Yes,
Hey,
definitely.
our boys must get involved, because
Right.
it's basically across the board, and it usually is fun. What I really love about cooking and baking is the gratification factor.
Yeah.
So they make something, and it doesn't always have the end result isn't always immediate. So it takes them a while to actually make it. So they say they're helping to make cookies or bake a cake. They have to stir, they have to decorate, they have to do all of those things, and that takes a while.
Right.
But once it's finished, you have this beautiful end product that's yummy, that looks lekker,
Yes.
and you can actually, and they actually go, wow, I did that.
Right.
And when you have that factor, you get increased confidence in a child.
Yes.
So you have increased confidence. And the other thing that it does is that it helps them, because we are dealing with the immediate gratification generation.
Yes.
So games and everything has to be, I want it now, and I want to do it now, and I want to get my satisfaction now. So when they do like cooking and baking, it's a longer activity, and they've got to wait for the end, and that it helps to develop their endurance. So they can have what they call long-term gratification, and they can develop that as a skill. And that is actually something that they need for later on in life. They need it for school, because remember, we're not always going to be doing fun things in life.
Yes.
School itself, the activities are very boring. So they need that kind of tolerance and endurance to actually, okay, I have to push through this. So they develop that kind of thing. So, so in line with the cooking and baking is actually the home chores, which, a lot of parents, they feel bad to let their kids do home tasks or sort of manual labor type of work, which like the work cleaning up and neating and washing, but those activities offer a lot of benefit. So just washing dishes and wiping a table, besides the skill, it comes back to that whole gratification factor and endurance, and being able to push through something that's not always pleasant, but the fact that I did it and I completed it actually tells me that, you know what, I can do this, and I've got now confidence to actually do other things.
Definitely. And that's gonna be, a good way of learning, of discipline, learning of, confidence, learning of, getting more confidence, and learning of having patience. You're doing something and then you will get the result out of it later on. Okay, so we can touch upon a little bit on the traveling activities as well. And then I have another question for you. So we can discuss a bit later after that. So you can go on with the traveling activities as well.
Okay. So if you're going on road trips, on holiday, you're gonna usually be in the car, and with kiddies, they're always asking, "Are we there yet? Or how long is this gonna be?" So I'm just going to mention a few activities that really make a big difference, or and kids can actually do. And the first one is the audible movie.
Okay.
So we're so used to the whole visual movie kind of thing, and seeing everything, but an audible movie is just so, it's a lot of fun. And what's nice about it is that you can get movies for your younger kids
Mhm.
and your older kids.
Right.
So I think we've had the Dr. Seuss collection for when our kids were younger. And what's nice about that, it's got the same voices that you would actually see in the movie or in the little programs. And it's got all of that reenacted, but obviously it gets their attention.
Mhm.
So and they all are different different times, so different lengths. So they have you have a longer one, so if it's a normal movie, a lot of our teenagers enjoy it. So
Mhm.
we've had like I think it's we started Lord of the Rings, you know. So and that was obviously when we had when we started on holiday a few months back when we did a road trip. But we go again, we actually just, because it's so long, we
Yes.
just carry on listening to it. So that's really nice for them, and it also develops a lot of their language skills and their listening skills.
Definitely.
It's excellent for that. Then what I tell parents, especially if they're going on holiday, is to actually start a little travel journal.
Okay.
And a travel journal is something that can actually be done from as little as like almost like 2 years. Because remember, you don't have to write everything. You
Yes.
can get, if a little one is going on holiday, okay, so obviously the older ones can write. So if they've seen something that's really cool, they can write about it.
Oh,
They can take a
wow.
picture. That's nice with these days because they all have phones. They can take a picture, or they can even draw it.
Mhm.
And they saw the school bird, you know, or and this is what happened, or something interesting that happened on holiday or during the actual road trip. But with a younger child, she obviously can't write, but she can collect a cute little stone or a feather or something from a restaurant that they visited. So she so what's nice is that they can collect it, put it in there, and mom can even help them to say, okay, let's write down a word for that, and or write down a story associated with that. But even if and if they have their cute little book, they're going to keep it, they can stick it inside, and they can still do the whole pasting and sticking and cutting out if it's something, it's a picture that they want to cut out and put inside. So they have that, and they can really each make their own travel journal. What's also nice for older and younger kids, depending, it's actually for both and for adults too. So a lot of the games that we get, like charades and 30 seconds, you can actually get an online version of it. So you don't have to carry the big boxes with.
Right.
So if you get, for example, you get something like it's basically like charades, but it's called Heads Up.
Okay.
So kids, and it's also graded. So kids have to put up their phone, and it basically says, for example, Lion King, the movie. And they have to say, everybody else has to do the actions for Lion King, and you've got to try and figure out what the movie actually is. So and similar to that, you have something like 30 seconds, which you can actually do on the phone. So that's nice to do on holiday. In the car as well, you can actually do that. And there's also on the website, we have like magnetic games, because then you want games, you're not going to get all lost in the car and fall apart.
Okay,
So
sorry to yes, Sister
Yes.
Waheeda, sorry to interject you. It's because my other question was also, interrelated to that. It's because I also wanted to know, like, what new toys, you guys are offering from your website for children activities these days, so like, they can enjoy in their holiday. So then we can just cover up that as well.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So the magnetic activities are quite popular. So for example, we have something called the princess dress up, where you have a princess and her pony, and that's on a little cardboard thingy. And with that, we have clothes for the princess.
Oh, wow.
And they're all magnetic, so they can actually dress their princess and put her on and change her clothes, and if she wants to wear something else, that kind of thing. We also have, in line with the whole cleanup thing,
Oh,
and the chores, we have a let's play house game. It's a little set for boys and girls with a little mop and a
mhm.
broom and a
Wow.
scoop. It's
Oh,
from
that's
Melissa and
nice.
Dan. Yeah, so that's actually, and they're actually very nice quality, so they're not going to break, and you
Mhm.
can actually use them to clean up. So while mom is cleaning, they
Yes.
can also help to clean as well.
Oh, wow.
um, yeah, we've got some lovely plush toys as well. So
Mhm.
just they really they're from Wreak Havoc. They are actually very soft and cuddly. We've got something called a chubby sheep,
Mhm.
which you can just hold on to and take it with while you're traveling as well.
Right.
Um, yeah, we do have a very wide range, and we have a range for also for different ages. What's nice is we mostly sold out, but I should be getting stock. We have themed Play-Doh sets.
Okay.
So we have some, like for example, it's a cupcake themed Play-Doh set.
Mhm.
So it comes with little cupcake holders and little decorations. So kids can like make their own cupcakes with using Play-Doh. And all the Play-Doh is organic, and it's safe for them to use. So if they pop something into their mouth, it still would be safe.
Oh,
So we have that as well.
that is
Um,
amazing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that
we
is
we have
amazing.
a lot. So what's nice about it, sorry, if you're not sure what's age appropriate or something specifically, like you said, you want something for a 9-year-old and we're going on holiday,
Mhm.
I have a WhatsApp function on the website,
Mhm.
and you can just WhatsApp me and I can give you some of the suggestions that we have.
Right, perfect. Okay, now a little bit like I would just make it a bit shorter. It's because now time is also running out. So the
Yes.
thing is, yeah. So the thing is like about your online store. When did this idea generated and came into being about your online store? And you said you just started. Okay, now we need to start it up, and then you just went through that. How did this idea just came into your mind that okay, now we need to start with something like that?
So I've always been passionate about two things, which the one is toys. Being a therapist, when we go shopping, I go my way in the toy shop, and the children go the other way, and I do my own toy shopping. So I have my own toys. They're allowed to use it, but they have to ask permission.
Mhm.
So I've always been passionate about that. But
Mhm.
I've also been passionate about educating and empowering moms and teachers about childhood development. So we've given workshops before, and had functions where we had themed functions. So, for example, we would do like school readiness and get experts in occupational therapy, speech therapy, depending on what theme we have, and have these little functions. This is all pre-COVID, with mums and teachers to skill them
Mhm.
with knowledge on childhood development. So this having lockdown and my normal occupational therapy work kind of came to a halt. And yes, the idea came to me then to start the online store.
Oh, wow, that's nice. So, Sister Waheeda, I'm going to end the session here. It's because, and it was a pleasure to have you again. And we're gonna just do another session some other time as well. Definitely, I will inform you for that before the time. And thank you so much. And you have a
Pleasure.
wonderful day. And of
You
course, and
too.
and have great holidays also coming ahead.
Oh, yes, I
What's your plan?
definitely will. Need the break.
Yes, so
You too.
Jazakallah so much for coming and salam from my side.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay.